What kind of Jesus do you want? Seems like kind of a strange question to ask. But it's also a really important question. And that's what we'll think about as we think about the text that's in front of us, Jesus going in front of Herod. So this all happens in the midst of Jesus' trials. And Pilate seems to be really stuck. Pilate is convinced that Jesus is innocent, that he's done nothing wrong. But it's also crystal clear that the crowds and the Jewish religious leaders want Jesus dead. Pilate doesn't know why. Pilate's thinking, I can't put this guy to death. That would be horrible. But if I don't put him to death, I'm going to have a riot on my hands. And if I have a riot on my hands, the Roman Senate's probably going to remove me from my office. What do I do? And then kind of unwittingly, the crowd gives him what he thinks is an out. The crowd says to him, yes, he's been stirring up trouble all over the place. It started in Galilee. Wait, did you say he was from Galilee? Pilate asked. And the Greek word that's used there is a more intense word. So it's like he was asking intensely. Are you telling me he's Galilean? Are you telling me he's from Galilee? Aha, he's got an out. He can send him off to Herod, who is the local ruler of that part of the country, and Pilate will be done with this mess. Or so he thinks. Off to Herod, Jesus goes. Now, this is not Herod the Great. That's the one who tried to kill Jesus when Jesus was a baby. This is Herod the Great's son, who's known as Herod Antipas. This is the same Herod who took John captive, John the Baptist, and ended up beheading John the Baptist. Remember, John the Baptist is Jesus' cousin. So what emotions do you think might have been going through Jesus as he stands in front of the guy who murdered his cousin? Yeah, I'm guessing that might have been a little rough. But Herod is thrilled to see Jesus. The Greek reads that way, that he's excited. This is awesome. Why? Because he's heard that this Jesus guy does miracles. And so he's hoping that this Jesus guy is going to do some miracle for him. So what kind of a Jesus did Herod want? He wanted a trickster. He wanted a magician. He wanted someone who would put on a show for him. Surely you and I don't want the same thing, do we? Or do we? Do we find ourselves being disappointed with Jesus when we don't get that promotion, we don't get that raise, we don't get that position we applied for, we don't get into that school, we don't get that job we wanted? Do we find ourselves being disappointed with Jesus when he doesn't say yes to prayers we've brought to him, but instead says no? Are we disappointed in Jesus? If so, is it possible that you and I are actually fashioning Jesus in the same likeness that Herod did? That we want a Jesus who will do our bidding in our way at our time and jump to what we want? I fear that I'm a lot more like Herod than I'd like to admit. You too? Whole better question isn't what kind of Jesus do you want, but what kind of Jesus do we need? And amazingly, it's exactly the Jesus whom we see. Do something for me, Jesus. Do some trick for me. Show me some of that power you've got. Jesus doesn't say a thing. This Jesus guy's been doing this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Jesus doesn't answer a word. What if he had pulled out the power card? What if he had done some sort of miracle there for Herod? What would have happened? Obviously, I don't know. But is it possible that Herod would have released him in the hopes of seeing more tricks later on? I don't know. But it could have happened. And that's absolutely not what we wanted or needed. No, what we needed is exactly the Jesus we see, who stands there humbly, accepting the ridicule and the mocking, making no reply. In a few moments, we're going to work our way through the 7 statements from the cross, the 7 words they're often referred to by. Each one of them are amazing in their own right. Each one of them gives us a look into the heart of God, a look at the love of God, a look at Jesus' saving love and work for you and me. Yes, it can be really emotional. And yes, it tugs at our hearts. But as you hear those words read, remember, that is exactly the Jesus who you want. A humble, serving, saving, loving, gracious Jesus. That's the Jesus you and I want. That's the Jesus you and I need. And thank God, here on Good Friday, we get to see that oh so clearly. Amen.